All right, back and ready to talk a little bit more about windshield repairs. Let's see. So, windshield repair started in, well, it was perfected in 1970 and mass produced by a guy named Frank Warner, who started Novus Windshield Repair, which went worldwide. You can fact check me on that. I think I'm right. I'm not sure. I'm writing a book, and I think that book will tell you the same thing that I just said. Well, because it came from the same guy. Um, but yeah, so windshield repair has been around since 1970. Prior to that, they actually used to use some type of oil or, yeah, it was basically an oil that they would fill in brakes with. And really all this did was it gave it some optical clarity, but the oil would seep out. It would not seal the brake so that it would keep from cracking, which is the primary objective of windshield repair. The secondary objective of windshield repair is to clear it up as much as possible. Not everybody abides by those two things, and also not everybody believes that a stone brake is holding well when it is not clear or when it is clear. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Let me rephrase that. If a stone brake is clear after doing the repair, the likelihood of it cracking out is very slim, very low, because that means that they got the air out. The air is the darker blackness in the brake or the mirroring that you see, and that is what can crack because it's air that expands and contracts with hot and cold temperatures. And so, in theory, if you clear up a brake, then that means that you have also ensured that it's not going to fracture or propagate from that repair. But getting back to it, so they used to put oil in, and oil would not actually seal the brake. So they came up with using acrylic resin that bonds by ultraviolet light. This way you can inject into the brake before curing it, and you can just be sure that it's sealed. Then you can start to cure it. And they used to cure it just by sunshine. Let's take a break here real quick and see Baloo. This is Baloo Lilu. Yeah, no. Hey, I'm talking about you. Look over here. So this is my dog, Baloo Lilu. And she's just a real happy puppy. She goes to work with me. Right now we're charging together. We are charging together, aren't we? Baloo Lilu. So anyway, I'll keep talking. It's burning out the clock. That's the tough thing. It's 3 minutes in. Windshield repair, where were we? Yeah, so in 1970, they devised a way to actually seal the crack, which was with an acrylic-based resin that bonds by ultraviolet light. And the reason why it's imperative that it bond by ultraviolet light and it's not an epoxy or like an aerobic curing by air glue is because you don't want it to cure until you're ready for it to cure, which means you need to do due diligence. Baloo, you need to do due diligence and get it completely injected into. Once that happened in 1970 with like Frank Warner again and Novus Windshield Repair, they went worldwide with that company. And that's actually where I learned, was from Novus Windshield Repair here in Denver, Colorado. Little puppy. Learned about the techniques of windshield repair and then perfected the techniques over the past 2.5 decades. So we went from being able to only do, bullseyes, stars, chips, and small cracks to being able to actually fix a crack top to bottom, side to side, though it's not advisable because the sheer amount of resin that's necessary and needful to be used to do that, as well as its ability to last. Now, if it's down low and it has a lot of access to if the crack that you fixed is down low and you're using your high heat defrost often throughout the winter, then it's susceptible to opening back up, because high heat actually can open up a crack even though it's been repaired, because tensile strength, it's only as strong as it can be. Anyway, yeah, so windshield repairs. Oh, back to Baloo. Baloo, what do you see? What do you see? Do you see yourself in the phone? Isn't this wild, how like technology allows us to film things in such a manner, and I can have this zoom focus. As an actor, I understand, there's a lot of things about camera and rack focus and zoom and pull and dollies and pans and tilts and all that stuff. So it's just kind of fascinating. Baloo, hey, you can probably hear her sniffing. It's just fascinating that we can do what we can do with cell phones. Baloo, back. So, yeah, like people can film feature-length films with 4K on their cameras, and when they're skilled at just film work, then it doesn't really matter the device they use, which, is the same result for any and all occupation, trades and such. When you're good at what you do with high quality equipment, you don't necessarily need that high quality equipment to perform your work. I know there's this girl on YouTube or TikTok or something. She's a musician, and she's such a good musician that she can play instruments with like child's instruments, and like make music and song and stuff like that, but she's just good at it. So it doesn't matter the device she uses. She's an artist. Anyway, back to windshield repairs. So I've been doing this for 26 years, and gotten pretty good at it. And let's see. So it's a good industry. It's a great industry because it's automotive industry. So anything you do, whether you're cleaning cars, detailing cars, doing paint touch-up, the people in my realm, in my field, are vendors of like dealerships and fleet accounts, and we do all types of repairs for dealer and fleet, and so we are vendors. To name a few, there's people who do paint touch-up, hail damage, windshield replacement, repair, wheel restoration and repair. What else? I don't know. There's got to be some other things. And then there's like some places that do oil changes. They'll like do on-site oil changes and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the realm that I play in, and it's been good. It's been lucrative. I mean, man, I've been generating probably $100,000 a year for the past 26 years, which is kind of sad when you think about it, because I haven't really increased the amount of money that I've made in way of actually take home. But I have learned to be a better businessman, in that I would expense everything that is like legitimate, legitimate expenses. There's food and clothing and apparel, and there is automobile and fuel and space, like storage, and if you work out of your house like I do, there's just so many write-offs. It seems to be the only way that anybody could really excel here in America, I guess all over the world, but in America, to take advantage of the tax loopholes or the tax shelters, and that's what offsets the it gives one a great deal of advantage over having a job and an occupation. So yeah, it comes with its ups and downs, its highs and lows. Right now I'm actually kind of experiencing the low. It's winter season in Colorado, and you know, I've lost a few accounts due to attrition, which I'm not used to doing or losing, because I maintain my accounts. I keep good relationships with all of my clientele. But you know, you can't stop someone coming in and offering your service for half. But let me tell you about this. There is a difference between price point, cost, and value. I've come to the conclusion that I want to be in the realm of fast and, what is it, good, fast, cheap? We're good and fast, but we're not cheap. And I used to be in the realm of good, fast, cheap, where I was right there in that center, but I was the one that actually suffered the most, meaning I was offering good, fast, cheap service, and that meant I wasn't being compensated as well as I ought, because I'm very good at what I do, and so I had to increase my prices. And you know, that gets rid of some of the clientele or some of the customer that is just not willing to pay the price because they believe that price point is one of the leading factors, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I believe that price point is a factor and a determining factor of the value one puts on themselves and the value that one puts on a service provider or product. So I don't know, that's just me, and I could be wrong. Maybe that's why I'm suffering right now. It'll come together though. God's good all the time. All the time God is good. And you know, just have the faith of a mustard seed. You can move a mountain. Speaking of which, I do have to move a mountain, and I have a friend of mine who's going to help me move the mountain. I just need a big old earth mover, like a 3-yard bucket. Yeah, because this is a mountain, like a legit mountain, and we have to tear into it, plow into it, and move it down the road on the property. Speaking of which, once we do that, then my company's going to thrive and flourish, because I will have a on-site location with shops for doing windshield repair, installation, and calibration, and that will be really cool. So I know it's coming. I know I've invested a lot into these things, and that's the thing with planting. There's seasons, you know. There's a season to plant and a season to reap, and I'm just waiting for that season. So I know I got completely off base there, but never fear. I have many videos that I'm going to do. I'm trying to embark upon this YouTubosphere and creation of content. And maybe you come to see the doggy and the puppy. Baloo, Baloo, treat? Huh? Do you want a treat? Monkey. Well, she's not looking at me. Look at her. Okay, she's happy doing what she's doing, chewing on a bone. But yeah, I'm going to be here hopefully for some time, because I actually also believe that this platform is one that I can thrive, or one that my business can thrive in, one that my acting can thrive in, and one that maybe I can be of service to others. So please post some questions and I'll try to answer those questions. I guess this is how it starts, you know. We're at 14 minutes here. You want to try to keep your videos, I think, above 10 minutes. That way when you get to ad generation or AdSense, then you can make money, because you'll get ad space in the beginning, the middle, and the end. If you watch some of my other videos, you'll see that I actually I put my own videos in it. Baloo. I put my own videos in it. Or my own commercials, rather, for Clearview. And that's simply because I don't know why. I wanted to take advantage of my space there, instead of having the big boys, the Safe Lights, the Elites put their commercials on my content, because forget that. forget all that. If anybody's gonna have some content on my videos, it's gonna be me and my business. Speaking of which, I also teach and train how to do windshield repairs for a price. I can train you for $5,000. I can provide you with tools and training for $10,000, and I can turn you into a franchisee for $50,000. So those are the going rates right now. And yeah, I can show you how to make $100,000 plus a year, because I've done it. All right. Well, God bless you, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. And see you on the flip. Baloo. Baloo. Hey, Baloo. Well, come here. Hey. Oh, well, I'm trying to get... Come here. Want a treat? Come here. Come say hi. Come say bye. Come say bye to these people. Say bye. Did you see her?